In my day, when a coach criticized you, it's called good coaching. When people criticize players today, it's called hating. And that's why these bombs be driving me crazy. Can play basketball 2 days in a row. We played basketball 2 days in a row. They got better equipment. They got better equipment. They got better medicals. They got cold plunges. They got hyperbaric chambers. They got private planes.
Back in Charles Barkley's era, if a coach got in your face and ripped into you, that was just coaching. That was part of getting better. But now, Barkley says the exact same thing gets labeled as something completely different. And that change is what drives him absolutely crazy about today's NBA.
You talk about coaching. In my day, when a coach criticized you, it's called good coaching. When people criticize players today, it's called hating. And that's why these bombs be driving me crazy. Like, dude, that's what coaches, their job is to criticize. It ain't criticism, it's coaching.
These bums be driving me crazy. That line isn't really about game plans or basketball strategy at all. It's deeper than that. In Barkley's eyes, too many players today hear criticism and instantly treat it like a personal attack. Coaching turned into hating. Accountability became disrespect. And once you look at it through that lens, suddenly the rest of the league starts making a lot more sense. To Barkley, the non-stop three-point shooting, the vanishing old-school big men, and especially healthy stars sitting out games while fans spend big money just to watch them wear designer clothes on the bench. It's all connected, and nobody frustrates him more on that topic than situations like Kawhi Leonard missing games while perfectly healthy enough to play. In his mind, these aren't random issues. They all come from the same thing: softness. A league that got soft with players, soft with fundamentals, and soft with the fans paying for the tickets, jerseys, and TV deals. And that last part, that's where Barkley really loses his patience. But before getting there, you gotta understand why people actually listen when he talks. Charles Barkley isn't just another loud TV personality throwing out hot takes for attention. This is one of the 50 greatest players in NBA history, an MVP, an 11-time All-Star, a guy who stood around 6 feet 6 inches and still bullied giants every single night without backing down. He didn't rely on endless three-pointers either. He didn't have to. Barkley attacked the paint, fought for rebounds, and shoved around some of the most athletic players on the planet like it was nothing. He built a Hall of Fame career off toughness, aggression, and refusing to play soft basketball. So when Barkley talks about toughness, effort, and what really wins championships, he's not guessing. He lived through it. And according to him, the first major sign of softness showed up in the one thing modern basketball celebrates nonstop: the three-point revolution. People call it smart basketball now. Analytics, spacing, the future of the game, the Golden State blueprint. But Barkley thinks that whole movement completely missed the point. He believes the NBA copied the wrong lesson.
Well, I think the NBA made a big mistake when everybody tried to model themselves after the Golden State Warriors.
A bunch of smart executives watched the greatest shooting team ever assembled and convinced themselves every team should play exactly the same way. But what they ignored was the biggest detail of all. The Warriors weren't dominating just because they shot threes. They dominated because they had players nobody else on earth had.
You know, Golden State Warriors had the 3 greatest shooters who ever lived. So everybody started shooting threes.
Stephen Curry is widely called the greatest shooter ever. Klay Thompson might be second on that same list. That's not normal. That's not something you recreate overnight. Golden State didn't invent some easy formula everybody could steal. They had a basketball cheat code. But the rest of the league looked at that and said, everybody should shoot like Curry now. Everybody. Then came the Rockets under Daryl Morey, pushing analytics and Morey ball to the absolute limit. Suddenly, teams were obsessed with math, launching threes from everywhere like it was a video game. And the stat Barkley points to still blows his mind.
There's 7 teams shooting more threes in the last 2 years than the Golden State Warriors.
7 different teams decided to shoot more threes than a Warriors roster that had Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant all together at the same time. That's when Barkley dropped the word that probably made every analytics department uncomfortable.
But the notion that 6 other teams would shoot more threes than the 3 greatest shooters that ever lived, that's stupid and asinine.
Asinine. Not confusing. Not mistaken. Asinine. And this is usually the moment people stop listening to him. They hear an older NBA legend criticizing the modern game and instantly throw him into the old head nostalgia category. But Barkley sees it differently.
And I want to make it clear, I'm not the old man get off my lawn.
He thinks the league became obsessed with copying trends instead of understanding why those trends worked in the first place. Get off my lawn. That's usually the reaction people throw at Barkley whenever he criticizes the modern NBA. Like he's just another former player mad that the game changed. But Barkley shut that argument down fast, because this was never about basketball looking prettier back in the day. His point is way colder than nostalgia. It's about advantages.
You take your size advantage out the game. Why do I want guys who are physically bigger and stronger? Why did I want them out on the perimeter? That helps me as a defender.
And in Barkley's mind, the dumbest thing any player can do is willingly give up the thing that makes him dangerous in the first place. Think about that for a second. When a 7-footer floats out to the three-point line, defenders don't always panic. A lot of them feel relieved. The scariest thing about a dominant big man is what happens near the rim, the size, the power, the pressure in the paint. But once that giant is standing 25 feet away launching jumpers, the defense just got a huge break for free. Ask Shaquille O'Neal what happens when a massive player uses his size properly. It becomes a nightmare. And there's one current superstar Barkley keeps coming back to whenever he talks about this problem.
He's the one who frustrates me the most.
Joel Embiid. Barkley believes Embiid is practically impossible to guard one-on-one when he's planted down low. Too strong, too skilled, too big.
He could be the best player in the NBA if he would post up more, because you can't guard him with one guy.
In Barkley's eyes, Embiid has the talent to be the best player in the entire NBA. But he also believes that potential gets limited every time Embiid settles for too many outside shots that actually help the defense instead of punishing it. And Barkley says defenders secretly love it. Thank you.
But every time he shoots a three, I guarantee you the defender's like, thank you. You can't guard that guy in the post.
That's basically the reaction he thinks opponents have when dominant big men drift away from the basket, because now they don't have to deal with the player's greatest weapon anymore. To Barkley, this problem doesn't stop with the players either. It goes straight to the coaches drawing up the system.
You as a coach, your job is to not try to fit your system. You have to use the players you got.
Which circles right back to his bigger issue with modern coaching in general. A coach forcing every roster into the exact same style isn't innovative. It's lazy. The real job of coaching is figuring out what talent you actually have and maximizing it.
If you don't let us post up and get the other team in foul trouble or draw the double, you just don't know how to coach.
If you've got a monster in the paint, use him like a monster in the paint. Don't turn every player into a copy and paste version of Steph Curry just because the league became obsessed with spacing and analytics. Now, to be fair, Barkley admits there are giant players who can really shoot. He's not denying reality, but he refuses to act like those players grow on trees.
There's never gonna be a great 7-foot, not named Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Durant jump shooter for a big man.
Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Durant. Those are once-in-a-generation players. His point is brutally simple. You can't build an entire league pretending every 7-footer is secretly one of the greatest shooting big men ever born. And this is where Barkley pushes back hard against people accusing him of hating on modern basketball.
And people think I hate analytics. I don't hate analytics. I don't think you can build your team through analytics.
He's not against numbers. He's against letting spreadsheets make every decision while ignoring common sense and player strengths. In his mind, analytics became a shortcut for overthinking basketball instead of understanding it. Then comes the line that sums up his entire argument better than anything else.
If you try to do things the greatest ever did, that's not smart.
Curry is not a blueprint. Curry is a miracle. That's the heart of it right there. Barkley believes teams looked at Steph Curry and convinced themselves his style could be mass-produced across the whole NBA. But players like Curry don't come around often. Trying to copy a miracle without having the actual miracle just leaves teams playing worse basketball. And Barkley even puts himself mentally back on the court when talking about it.
I'm not going to foul Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, Anthony Davis. I'm not going to foul those guys on a three-point shot. I'm going to let them shoot it.
He says if he were defending these modern teams, he'd happily back off certain big men and dare them to shoot outside jumpers all night long, because every shot away from the basket removes the thing that makes those players terrifying. But none of that is the issue that truly makes Barkley furious. The real anger kicks in when he talks about load management.
And if they can make enough, I shake their hand and say, you were better than me.
Because in his eyes, the softness doesn't stop with play style. It reaches effort, responsibility, and respect for the fans. Healthy stars sitting out games while people spend huge money to watch them drives him insane. Even now with the NBA creating the 65-game rule to fight the problem.
Can play basketball 2 days in a row. We played basketball 2 days in a row. They got better equipment. They got better equipment. They got better medicals. They got cold plunges. They got hyperbaric chambers. They got private planes now.
Barkley looks at today's league and sees players with better recovery, better training staffs, better travel, better medicine, and easier conditions than any generation before them. Yet somehow, they play less basketball. To someone who battled through injuries and physical punishment during his era, that feels completely backwards. Then Barkley brings up the money.
So if we could do that for $2 million a year, they damn sure can do it for $40 million a year.
Players once made a fraction of today's salaries. Now stars can make $40 million or more while appearing in fewer games. But the money itself isn't what upsets him most. It's the fans stuck paying the price.
We can't just keep crapping on the fans saying that. That's just disrespectful. Number one, it's disrespectful to the game, but it's really disrespectful to the fan base.
The father saving money for weeks just to bring his kid to one NBA game. The family lucky enough to attend once a year, hoping they'll finally get to watch their favorite superstar play live, only to see that player sitting on the bench in street clothes instead. They circled that game on the calendar months ahead of time, drove across the state, paid crazy money for parking, tickets, jerseys, snacks, and those overpriced arena hot dogs, all for one reason: to see their favorite superstar play live.
And you're making $90 million and you can't play basketball 2 days in a row. That's 100% wrong.
And then they get to the arena and see that player sitting on the bench in a designer outfit, perfectly healthy, just watching the game like everybody else. That's the part that really gets under Barkley's skin. And what frustrates him even more is the way teams explain it. Barkley says he could at least respect honesty.
But just say, hey, I'm trying to extend my career. Don't try to tell me it's not healthy.
If it's a business decision, just say that. Don't package it up like some major medical issue when everybody can clearly see what's happening. Then he brings up something that really puts the difference between eras into perspective.
Can you imagine if Magic Johnson said, I played in Brooklyn last night. I'm not going to play against the Celtics the next day. Can you just think about how stupid that sounds?
Imagine Magic Johnson sitting out against the Celtics just to rest. Think about how wild that would have sounded back then.
Yeah, can you imagine if Larry Bird said, hey, we played the Clippers last night. I'm going to sit out this Lakers game tomorrow.
One of the biggest rivalries in sports history, national TV watching, fans filling the arena, and one of the faces of the NBA deciding to take the night off anyway, it would have caused absolute chaos. Back then, wearing the uniform meant something different. Showing up wasn't treated like some optional favor for the fans. It was the responsibility that came with being an NBA player. You played because people paid to see you. You played because some kid in the crowd might be watching his favorite player for the very first time, and maybe the only time ever. And in Barkley's eyes, that mattered. That's what sits underneath all the frustration and yelling. It's not just anger, it's disappointment. Because Barkley still sees NBA players as some of the luckiest people on earth.
We get to do something so stupid, and we make more money. We're the luckiest people in the world.
So when he watches healthy stars sit out games, hears players call tough coaching hate, or sees dominant big men settling for weak outside shots they don't even specialize in, he sees one giant problem: people forgetting how lucky they are. People getting soft. Now, does that mean Charles Barkley is just an older guy angry because basketball changed without him? Not really. And this is the part a lot of people miss completely. Barkley has never said players shouldn't evolve. He's never claimed the league should freeze in time. In fact, he's openly said the opposite: adapt or you're done.
I'd be Michael Jordan in this era.
I'm old school.
You have to adapt or change sports.
That's not somebody scared of change. That's somebody saying he would have adapted too. And probably faster than most players, because toughness and effort never go out of style. His argument was never, bring back 1993. His issue is that the NBA started copying trends instead of thinking critically. Teams chased math formulas while ignoring obvious mismatches. Players became more sensitive to criticism, and somewhere along the way, honesty started getting treated like disrespect. Barkley believes the league lost some of its edge. Not all of it, but enough for him to notice. Now it's your turn. Do you think Barkley is completely right about today's NBA getting softer? Or do you think he's just refusing to accept that the game evolved into something smarter and more skilled? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this debate always gets heated. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with another basketball fan who needs to hear this argument. More videos are coming soon on the biggest NBA legends, rivalries, and controversies people still argue about today. See you on the next one.